TO plays.
Hey there, this is Tio bringing another Kerbal Space Program video. Once again, it has been a while. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Kind of played a little bit of KSP1 recently. Haven't really played much KSP2, so I've got this old footage I thought I would finally share with you guys. And yeah, give you a little bit of an update on my life. So, yeah, KSP2, unfortunately, still isn't super playable for me. I sat down, reinstalled the game, and managed to get through this footage that you see on screen, and it was incredibly sluggish to play. I sped it up 8 times to make it viewable for you, but unfortunately the game was just incredibly slow, and yeah, not an enjoyable experience still. So I didn't play anymore after having recorded this footage. But as you see on screen, I built a little satellite. Finally managed to figure out how the fairings work, which is nice. I feel like they should give you a little tutorial on how those work. It wasn't as intuitive as it probably could have been, but finally was able to put a payload and a fairing, which was nice. And just checking my staging, and go ahead and try to lift off. Try to see how high into the atmosphere I can make it this time. So I love features of the game. I think there's a lot of good ideas, and I'm really anxious that they improve things and make it more playable for me and probably other people who are having trouble. But yeah, it's still not something that I'm regularly playing. So the footage you see on screen is sped up 8 times, and look how slow this thing is ascending. So any adjustments that I make in flight are overly exaggerated, because I'll hold down one of the keys thinking, okay, I need to overcorrect, and then all of a sudden, it doesn't, the speed at which I am playing doesn't match the speed at which the game is playing, if that makes any sense. So yeah, at this point, I'm like, let me at least get this thing out of the atmosphere and see how well it plays. So a little update on me while we watch the rocket on screen. I've been traveling with the fam. We're back in the South. Got out of the state of New York for a little while and spending some quality time with the fam back home. And I've got a little free time tonight. I'm drinking a whiskey, finished doing some chores. The kids are at a sleepover. My wife's at work, and I'm just finally recording some audio for some old KSP2 footage. So I think I recorded this, months ago, man. I don't even remember when. So I'm tickled to get this thing out of the atmosphere. Like, I finally got something out of the atmosphere. I'm thinking maybe I can get this thing all the way into orbit. So orbital velocity, I've made it. I'm at almost 2,500 meters per second. And I realize at this point, going into the map screen makes the game perform faster. So I'm kind of inspired to try to launch and do everything from the map screen, because the game is very playable from this point on. I guess it's the rendering of all the features on the ground that make it tough. But anyway, I'm in orbit, and I'm thinking I've got plenty of fuel. The game is actually behaving, kind of. Let's take this thing to the Mun, which is not my intention initially, but hey, let's do it. So headed out to the Mun, and we're going to finally get our first view, or at least I'm getting my first view of the Mun. And look at that, entering the sphere of influence. I loved the graphics. I think it's going to be a really nice game when they finish polishing it. So getting to the end of my video. I hope you guys tune in. I know it's been a while since my last video, and I've got a lot of other videos in the pipeline, which I always say I do, but that's true, because I still play KSP1 a lot. And thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate you for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys again very, very soon.